'Tis the season to be jolly because the With Love Meghan holiday celebration.
Netflix's message was loud. We're done. Pretending this woman is entertaining.
The fake Duchess and her balding. I have never witnessed something so toe-curling, so bum-clenchingly fake and horrific. So
she wasn't even trimming that tree. That whole thing was so freaking fake.
And the advent calendar that she was putting messages into, she
Like
was
the bananas.
You're so kind.
Netflix's message was loud. We're done. Pretending this woman is...
Apparently she's embracing the spirit of Christmas. I mean, she's certainly embracing the commercialism of it, because everything that we saw was, party.
The joy this year isn't coming from carols, fireplaces, or the vague hope of a Christmas miracle. It's coming from something far more entertaining and, frankly, far more satisfying. Netflix deciding they've finally had enough of Meghan Markle's televised theatrics and sending her holiday special straight to the bottom of their content dumpster.
Things being put into crackers. Apparently, I was rather surprised to learn that she seems to have invented the cracker, which I thought had been invented by somebody.
The only people who suffered more than the viewers were the commentators who forced themselves to watch the entire special from start to finish. They didn't just view it, they endured it. They dissected it with the grim determination of a bomb squad and the emotional exhaustion of therapists dealing with a couple who clearly need separate holidays.
Those sort of things. I mean, what she seems to always do is present things as if no one's ever done them before. I think every single thing that we saw in that documentary has...
What they found was almost impressive in the worst possible way. The single moment of excitement in the entire special was Harry's cameo. And even that was memorable only because he looked like a man who wandered onto the set while searching for the exit. The way Meghan thanked him for showing up felt eerily similar to how you thanked the plumber for coming out on Christmas Eve. Polite, grateful, and absolutely transactional. The strangest part was the pretend domesticity. Meghan behaved as though cameras had accidentally caught her in her natural habitat when it was painfully clear the set was about as authentic as a rental showroom kitchen. The mood was so forced, so tightly choreographed that viewers began to wonder whether the special was filmed before or after the emotional scripts were distributed.
Suffering in the world who haven't got much money and are probably having pretty austere Christmases, and this looked pretty vulgar to me. It certainly seemed fake to me. I mean, Prince Harry's entrance into the...
If the holiday special had a villain, it wasn't the artificial sentiment, the staged conversations, or the painfully slow pacing. It was Meghan's kitchen. People talk a lot about food safety, but nothing prepared viewers for the unholy sight of Meghan kneading, mixing, and massaging ingredients with diamond-encrusted fingers that had no business being anywhere near raw food. The internet christened her Salmonella Sussex, and the title stuck faster than anything she attempted to brand herself with. The gumbo scene was the centerpiece of the chaos. Meghan claimed with dramatic nostalgia that this dish was her cherished Christmas Eve tradition. Not a single viewer believed her. Not because gumbo isn't lovely, but because this supposed tradition has never been mentioned in interviews, articles, or stories. Until the cameras were rolling, it felt invented on the spot. More performance than memory. Designed to give the illusion of warmth where there was only lukewarm enthusiasm.
And then he gives her a kiss and he's holding a bowl and, the whole thing is upset, but they have to have Prince Harry coming in because...
Harry's cameo during this moment was unintentionally hilarious. He appeared like a man complying with a court-ordered visitation check-in. Meghan greeted him with the same energy one gives an Amazon delivery driver. Pleasant, but fundamentally distant. The contrast between her sugary tone and his silent plea for rescue was almost cinematic.
So he has to make a cameo appearance, and I just thought the whole thing was deeply embarrassing.
The kitchen wasn't cozy. It was a laboratory for brand building gone wrong. Between the ring scraping through batter and the awkwardly staged laughter, the segment created more questions than comfort. Mainly, how many takes did this require? And why did nobody stop her before she committed these culinary crimes on camera?
As if no one's ever made a cracker or pulled a cracker. I mean, come on, what's going on there? And also, of course, naturally, sort of relating crackers to being an English Christmas, as if to say, this is what the royal...
Decorating a Christmas tree is usually one of the easiest ways to express genuine warmth. Even people with chaotic lives managed to hang a few sentimental ornaments and tell charming stories about their childhood or their family. Meghan attempted the same, but instead of evoking nostalgia, she unintentionally opened a window into the hollowness of her carefully constructed narrative.
What is worse than anything else when it comes to this special is the fact
she waxed poetic about how ornaments reflect the chapters of one's life, how the decorations tell a family story, and how placing them on the tree allows you to feel the passage of time. On paper, it sounds beautiful. In practice, it rang hollow because viewers already know her real family story, the father she abandoned, the siblings she erased, and the relatives she only acknowledges when the memoir requires a villain.
have a picture of her father stuck, barren, in a flat in the Philippines. I mean, seriously, the complete
instead of sentiment, the tree delivered awkward silence. It looked empty, underdecorated, and strangely soulless, as though none of the ornaments actually meant anything. The moment she began explaining how she places lights toward the back, she conveniently avoided demonstrating it. The entire scene suggested she wasn't decorating at all, but simply narrating pre-written lines.
It's quite extraordinary to see, P. Dinah.
The problem with Meghan is we know her story, so that when she...
This wasn't a family tradition. It was a performance disguised as one. Viewers were moved. They were confused. Nothing about the tree felt lived in or personal. It felt like a prop meant to simulate domesticity, with Meghan at the center trying to look serene and meaningful. Instead of warmth, the scene revealed something colder. A woman who desperately wants the image of family without acknowledging the people who made her.
And she even baked her fake friends pears for brunch. If I did that to my friends, they'd be furious. They'd say, "Where's the bacon sandwich?" They'd be off.
The Advent Calendar segment was meant to be a charming peek into Meghan's thoughtful holiday rituals. Instead, it became a masterclass in unintentional comedy. With exaggerated elegance, she began tucking handwritten notes into little drawers and onto fruit, each message written in her trademark dramatic calligraphy. What should have felt sweet instead carried the strange energy of coded messages left at a crime scene.
Called Will Guidara turns up. He has written a book called Unreasonable Hospitality. And Meghan uses this moment to say, there's nothing more stressful than watching a stressed out.
The phrases themselves weren't the problem. Telling someone they're brave or kind is perfectly lovely, but the way they were presented, delicately sliding stiff, overwrote cards into compartments as though performing a seance, felt bizarrely theatrical. Observers joked that the handwriting resembled something the Zodiac Killer might have mailed to a newsroom. Even Meghan's guests looked uncomfortable, unsure whether to act impressed or concerned.
This is how we feel, okay? Because you're just putting us through watching you, the most stressed out, miserable hostess I've ever seen.
The commentary from those watching was brutal. One insider quipped, "Oh, we're writing again," noting that Meghan seemed more excited about demonstrating her penmanship than celebrating anything remotely festive. The energy in the room never matched the intention. It felt like everyone was participating in an improv exercise they didn't sign up.
Conceited guest. And I have to say, I mean, it is somewhat miraculous he has a wife. You know, he's on the camp scale of Daniel, the makeup artist, but there you go. At one point, he calls his wife during the filming, and Meghan says, "Hi, friend."
The worst part was the overwhelming sense that none of it was natural. This wasn't a tradition passed down through generations or a ritual filled with childhood memories. It was a brand-building exercise dressed in Christmas colors. The calendar wasn't magical. It was mechanical. Instead of inspiring holiday cheer, It inspired confusion, discomfort, and a flurry of memes comparing the scene to various true crime dramatizations. The Christmas cracker is one of the simplest holiday traditions in the English-speaking world. You pull it, it pops, and inside is a paper crown, a silly joke, and a tiny toy nobody actually keeps. It is foolproof. It is straightforward. It is literally designed for children to understand. Yet somehow, in a plot twist worthy of a parody sketch, Meghan Markle managed to misunderstand every possible aspect of it.
This person who says that. It's always someone who really doesn't care about you, who says, "Hi, friend." And the wife, who is apparently an author who's appeared on the show previously, I don't remember her, replies to Meghan, "Hi."
With great authority, she announced that crackers are meant for sweets and confetti. Anyone who has ever interacted with a cracker or with physics honestly knows chocolate would melt instantly and confetti would turn Christmas morning into a 6-hour cleanup operation. The internet didn't even bother arguing. It simply blinked in disbelief. How does one get something so basic, so confidently wrong?
The relationship between these two is truly awful. And they then go on to make Christmas.
But the real comedy came when Meghan decided to turn this simple party item into a metaphor for love. Once again, she transformed a lighthearted tradition into a sentimental TED Talk. She spoke as though the cracker were a symbolic vessel for emotional healing rather than a festive object designed to make 5-year-olds laugh.
Other people in countries around the world will question that. And she also says that crackers are for two things, for putting in sweets. No? I mean, are you crazy?
The interaction between her and Harry during this segment was even more painfully artificial. They exchanged looks and soft smiles that felt choreographed rather than spontaneous, as though the director had shouted, "Now pretend you adore each other," and action.
Melting, and also for confetti, which is like, seriously, you do not want your kids pulling crackers and
Instead of warmth, viewers were met with a strange mixture of forced intimacy and misplaced philosophy. By the end, the only thing anyone learned is that Meghan can turn even the simplest holiday custom into an overwrought performance piece. For years, Meghan has attempted to rebrand herself as a lifestyle guru. She tried the wellness angle, the humanitarian angle, the Duchess angle, and now the domestic holiday queen angle, but each time the same underlying issue resurfaces. These roles require a level of authenticity and passion that cannot be faked, no matter how glossy the lighting or how curated the set day.
Like, she hasn't even understood the concept of Christmas crackers. But of course, for Meghan, the Christmas cracker is not a Christmas cracker.
This holiday special made that painfully obvious. Martha Stewart didn't build her empire by whispering cliches over a bowl of half-stirred batter. She built it by mastering her craft. Anna Gart didn't charm audiences by posing in perfect kitchens. She did it by cooking with genuine joy and inviting viewers into a life that felt lived in, not scripted.
When I was watching both of them fake away to each other and talking about how it doesn't really matter what we're attaching to the cracker, because what we're actually attaching to the cracker is love. And that's when Meghan yet again shows which child she really loves, right? Because
Meghan, on the other hand, looked like someone trying to reenact a holiday commercial she watched once. Her movements were deliberate but not natural. Her commentary was poetic but empty. Everything she did felt like a performance meant to simulate domestic warmth rather than produce it. The most telling moment came when she pivoted from cooking to crafting to decorating with the same surface-level enthusiasm. There was no flow, no spontaneity, no comfort. It was as if she had written "Be Relatable" at the top of her script and then spent the entire special trying to force herself into that mold.
Lily really likes trying to be a grown-up lady at the moment. And then, literally a couple of minutes later, she's like, "Oh, now I'm on to Archie and he's into..."
People don't connect with posed perfection. They connect with sincerity. And sincerity is the one ingredient Meghan refuses to use. As a result, the entire special played like an audition for a job she doesn't understand and can't convincingly portray.
I was like Nancy and Stephanie, there is no love. There is no love for Archie. It was so obvious in this moment. And she writes that
after the lukewarm reception of Meghan's lifestyle efforts, The next step in her entrepreneurial journey became the punchline of an international joke. Privately labeled jam. Not artisanal, not homemade, not farm-sourced, just generic jam dressed up with fancy packaging and a Duchess-adjacent price tag. This wasn't a business venture. It was a cry for relevance.
Which are clearly going to Lily. I love you because you're so kind. I love you because you're so brave. And I'm just like, I can't cope. I cannot cope. It was the worst.
Insiders reported that the jars were being offered at Soho House, quietly shelved in a corner like forgotten party favors. The mental image alone was brutal. Meghan dropping off cases of jam in the passenger seat of a luxury car, Harry reluctantly carrying boxes behind her, and Marcus standing by with a portable card machine like a man hoping to make a single sale before closing time.
Weirdo Will, what did you think?
The crackers were also very infuriating because she goes, well,
This is what happens when a brand loses its identity. Meghan spent years rejecting the royal image while simultaneously trying to monetize the royal glow. Without authenticity to fall back on, she resorted to superficial products and empty projects that only highlight how far she has drifted from her once promising trajectory.
who's they, Meghan? Who's they? You spent like 2 Christmases with the royal family. You know exactly who they is. Okay? Or they are, whatever. But like, I was furious.
Netflix wasn't blind to this. They saw the drop in public interest, the backlash, the narrative cracks widening with every interview and every new business attempt. The holiday special wasn't just another failed project. It was confirmation that Meghan's star power has dimmed beyond repair. And the jam became an accidental symbol of the collapse, expensive, unnecessary, and impossible to justify. When your comeback plan ends with unsold jam in a members-only club, it's safe to say the brand isn't just struggling, it's gasping for air.
No hold hands and then go boo boo.
Yeah.
And it's clearly her
but the color
trying
red
to
was...
give some type of insight, isn't it, into life within the royal family? Because of course
Yeah, but
that
that
is
guy,
how they
but
would
I
have called the
agree with you.
crackers.
The moment the special premiered, social media lit up, not with praise, not with excitement, but with memes, jokes, and collective disbelief. Viewers across the globe arrived at the same conclusion. This wasn't Christmas. It was fake mass. A glossy imitation of holiday joy stripped of
He
soul.
let her finish the sentences for him, and
she,
I don't
and-
remember his wife.
No,
at all.
I don't. I feel
Everything about the production felt strangely hollow. The decorations looked curated rather than sentimental. The interactions sounded rehearsed rather than affectionate. Even the music meant to evoke warmth only emphasized how staged everything felt. It was as though Meghan had watched a dozen holiday commercials and attempted to recreate them without understanding why real moments matter. Critics were merciless. Some compared it to the infamous Fire Festival documentaries. Beautifully dressed but fundamentally fraudulent. Others called it the biggest turkey Netflix has ever produced. A title even Netflix reality shows haven't managed to earn. The public reaction wasn't divided. It was unified, and unity is rare in the age of online disagreement.
Like backing each other up, weren't they? And sort of like, it was awful woke-topian rubbish. Anyway, then we move on to the BFFs, right? So
The most stinging criticism came not from Meghan's longtime detractors, but from previously neutral viewers who admitted they expected anything more genuine. They weren't asking for Oscar-caliber storytelling. They just wanted a touch of real emotion or a glimpse into an actual family tradition. Instead, they got scripted. Lines wrapped in artificial smiles. This wasn't a flop that could be ignored. It became a cultural moment, a reference point for inauthentic celebrity branding. By the end of the week, even people who hadn't watched the special understood the joke.
Spent at Sandringham is all, product placing and marketing and, relating it to them, which is the ticket on which they travel, which is very unattractive. It's sort of
Every public figure experiences setbacks, but Meghan's downfall is unique because it unfolded in real time in front of millions, and with the unintentional. Comedy of a sitcom finale, the holiday special wasn't just a misstep. It was the televised obituary for the media career she spent years insisting she deserved.
Goddess in the kitchen, but I think in the past, first of all, it isn't her kitchen. So how Prince Harry happens to wander into somebody else's kitchen.
Netflix's silence after the release was louder than any press statement. No promotional push, no interviews, no trending banners. The message was unmistakable. The experiment is over. Meghan's brand no longer translates into viewership, curiosity, or cultural relevance. In Hollywood, that is the only verdict that matters.
Yeah. And then the people actually at the party, you feel that they were probably all just invited in order to fill the room so that it could be filmed. You know, it's like filming Christmas parties and marketing them, again, is unattractive in my...
What comes next is painfully predictable. There will be attempts to pivot again, new social media launches, vague humanitarian projects, inspirational quotes plastered across pastel backgrounds, and perhaps a few strategic paparazzi strolls outside Montecito cafes. But none of it changes the reality that the industry has moved on. The novelty has faded. The narrative has grown stale. Meghan's dream of becoming a global TV personality didn't simply fail. It collapsed under the weight of its own artificiality. She wanted the spotlight, but not the work. The acclaim, but not the authenticity. The audience, but not the vulnerability required.